This 11-story hotel is unlike anything Melbourne has ever seen. With an amazing rooftop bar and gathering space, incredible conference facilities, and of course, amazing guest rooms and suites like this one. So if you have friends and family coming to town for a visit, or want to go out and enjoy downtown Melbourne's great restaurants, bars, and shopping for a night or two, Hotel Melby is the place to be. Good morning and welcome back to the 411 on the 321. Tales, tenets, and tips from Space Coast business leaders, brought to you by the Melbourne Regional Chamber. I'm your host, Mel Thomas, and I am so excited to be joining you this morning from the gorgeous Hotel Melby, downtown Melbourne. I'm joined today by two handsome men on the couch. First, to my right is Brendan McCarthy. He's the Director of Wealth Management for Three Bridges Planning.
Yes,
welcome.
Thank you.
And also Brian Laughlin, Certified Financial Planner for Three Bridges. Thank you both for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So we're going to get started talking to the guys and hearing all about what they do. But first, a few words from our champion sponsor, Hedrick Brothers Construction. Since 1979, Hedrick Brothers Construction has been delivering quality construction for the commercial and luxury residential markets of South Florida. In 2020, Hedrick Brothers expanded into the Space Coast region and opened an office here in Melbourne. 3 years later, the team's grown to over a dozen professionals, working on large, local projects and investing in our community. The sky is not the limit for the Hedrick Brothers team. Check them out. You'll be glad you did. Welcome back. So let's get started, guys. I want to hear all about what you do. Brendan, you're right in front of me, so we're going to start with you.
Sounds good.
If anyone's watching or listening right now and they're not familiar, can you give us kind of an eye in your own words? What is Three Bridges Planning? What do you do? What services do you provide?
Sounds good. Yeah, and thanks for having us again.
You're welcome.
This is a beautiful location, and we appreciate everything the Chamber does for the community, and the show's really great. So
thank
kudos
you.
to you.
I cannot take credit, but thank you.
We're excited to be here. So Three Bridges Planning, we were founded in 2019.
Oh.
But our story goes back further than that. In fact, my father, Gene McCarthy, started in the financial planning business in 1972.
Okay.
I joined him after college. And then shortly after that, we ran into Brian Laughlin and his father, Dennis Laughlin.
Oh, it's a family affair. I love this. This is going to be great.
It was father and son for a while.
Okay.
We met at Legg Mason. We formed a partnership. Mm-hmm. My dad since retired years back. And then, I maintained the partnership with Brian and Dennis. Yeah. So we've been together for close to 20 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been great. But over the years, we realized there was kind of a shift in the financial planning industry.
Yes.
The culture had changed. The client's best interest was really not what the firms were looking for. Mm-hmm. And we knew we had to make a change. So we started looking, and we ended up partnering up with a broker-dealer called Kester Private Wealth. We partnered with Fidelity. And then in May of 2019, Three Bridges Planning was formed. It's an independent financial planning practice.
Okay. Where are you located here?
So we're on Harbor City Boulevard right here in Melbourne, in the two-story building next to the old Seacoast Bank.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and our logo's on top of the building, Three Bridges Planning. So.
Yeah, I like your logo. It speaks right to the name, right? Yep. Yeah, you know what you're getting when you see that logo.
And in fact, when we came up with the name was, very community-minded. Where we live with Kainita Causeway, Melbourne Causeway, O'Galley Causeway. That's kind of where a lot of our clients are. It's where our business is. And Three Bridges Planning sound a little bit better than Three Bridges Causeways, so.
yeah. Or all the bridges off US 1. Yeah,
right.
I gotcha. No, I love it. So, Brian, let's dive a little bit deeper. So, as Brendan mentioned, financial planning and assistance. What specific services do you offer? Because I know you have tax planning, all sorts of things. Can you talk about that?
Sure. So the three bridges of wealth management are tax planning, financial planning, and investment management.
Okay.
So we do all three. Tax planning, that's our big one. We always lead with tax planning. Taxes are complicated.
Yeah, they are.
80,000 pages in the code. Nobody understands them. Everyone's heard something. Most people have it half wrong. So we get every client's tax return every year.
Okay.
We review it. There's many opportunities built into the tax code. And just to be clear, we're not tax preparers.
Okay.
We're not reporting what happened last year. We're trying to look at forward. What can we do this year to help our client's tax situation? A lot of times when December 31st rolls around, the tax game is over. You have to plan a little bit.
Right.
So there's a lot of common strategies. A lot of things that are in there. Health savings accounts are enormous, very powerful, very confusing.
Yes.
Complicated. People confuse them with flexible savings accounts and other things. Medicare Part B is a thing, and you can manipulate your adjusted gross income and some other things to pay a lower rate for Medicare in future years. So again, a lot of people don't think that. They think they turn a certain age, they turn it on, and everyone pays the same price.
Yeah, or that you just like trust that, like, oh yeah, the government's got my best interest.
Well, it's surprising how many people's tax returns we review and they don't understand what's in the tax code and what they can do.
Right. Well, it's not really written for us.
Well, it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
And CPAs, we love them. We work with a lot of CPAs, but they're not the best at explaining it either, right? They prepare your tax return. Here you go. But we really break it down and say, hey, look, here's what you could have done based on your income. Have you considered this? So people are really it's very educational to review some of these tax returns. Sounds boring, but it's pretty exciting.
Okay. Well, then it sounds like you're the right guys for the job, and if you find that exciting, perfect. I want to ask you a question a little off script here, gasp, I know. In your own words, what sets you apart? Because like you said, there are a lot of firms doing what you do.
Yeah, I think what sets us apart is that everybody, I think, claims that they do tax planning, financial planning, and investment management. And there's a lot of great planners in Brevard County. Don't get me wrong, we're friends with a lot of great guys, great girls that do this, but I don't think many of them truly do tax planning, financial planning, and investment management.
Okay.
A lot of their focus is on investments.
Sure.
That's what they talk about. That's what they lead with. Client reviews are talking about the markets and inflation and interest rates. Our clients walk out of our meetings with actionable plans.
I love that.
Yeah, I think by being able to do all that sets us apart. When we worked with the larger firms, they don't have the ability to do tax planning. They can't review 1040s. They don't have the software to do that. So it's really the services that we provide sets us apart, and the fact that we actually do that.
Right. And I'm sure the fact that you take the time, you put the strategy in place, you explain things the way that humble folks can understand them. I know you've only been around since 2019, even though you have a long history there. I wonder, are you starting to see the results in your clients, in your retention of your clients, and where they see the value?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've probably had the best year we've had for client acquisition in the past 12 months.
We'll keep up the good work. It's obviously working. Okay. Let's go back to the script now, Brendan. So I wonder what advice you could give to someone who's effectively trying to manage their finances and maybe still trying to navigate this.
Well, if they're looking for help, I mean, that would be the first thing. A lot of people can handle it themselves, they think. But when you get to a point when you're planning for retirement, you probably want some help.
Yeah.
I would find somebody you trust. Could be a family member that's in the industry, or it could be another professional that was referred to you by somebody. So I think trust is a big thing. Competency is important. If you're working with an advisor, you want to make sure there's CFP, or that there's a CFP on staff that you're going to work with. Transparency is important. Our industry has been has done a job, I wouldn't say a good job, but of kind of hiding fees, right?
Yeah.
Clients don't know what they pay.
Right.
So I think that's inexcusable. You should know exactly what you're paying your advisor and what services you're getting for that. So trust, competency, transparency. If you can find those three things in an advisor, I think
that's a winner.
You're in pretty good shape.
I love that we keep going back to like three things.
Yeah, and it just kind of happened. Like I said, it started with the bridges, then it turned into the
pillars,
the tax planning and finance planning, investment management,
and Dennis, Brian, and
Brendan. Yeah,
three of those.
I love it. I love a good theme. We're going to weave it throughout.
There's three of us on the couch.
I know, right? Okay, so I wonder when should somebody start planning for their retirement? Like, what is the sweet spot? What's that age?
Well, for retirement, the sweet spot is really when you start getting nervous about your retirement.
Okay.
Because until it's really personally valuable to you, you don't really do a good job.
Yeah.
So, young people don't really need to plan for it. They need to start it. So young people need to save. And certainly advice can be given for that. But, they don't need to engage in a full-blown out financial plan when they're young. They just got to start something. But, I would say the earliest where things really become important is when families start.
Okay.
When someone's responsible for the finances of other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when children are born, marriages are made, you start the process. But, when you get out to retirement, to thinking about it, that's really the best time. It certainly is the case where people will come to our office and they're ready to retire next year, and so they want to get everything in order. And it's a much more difficult task with the less time that you have.
Okay.
Fewer adjustments can be made. Of course, we evaluate everything and put the plan in place, but if that same person started 10 years earlier, the results are much easier to achieve.
Okay, excellent.
We meet with a lot of people that are younger, and they probably don't need financial planning, but we'll still do a quick tax return, give them some tax advice. You should be doing a Roth versus a traditional, whatever. and then, hey, we'll see you back in a few years type of thing. So that's typically what happens.
Interesting.
Give them kind of like a, hey, do this now and call us again when you need us.
Okay. So speaking of clients, I know client feedback is important to you, Brian. How do you use that feedback and tailor it to the services that you offer?
Feedback is very important.
Yeah.
Because the plans we design are based on the clients. It's what
their
they want.
lives, their livelihood, right?
It's not like their livelihood. It's their intentions. It's their desires. So without them communicating that, without us creating a situation where we can understand their feedback, we can't deliver it to them. So it's of utmost importance. Without it, we end up doing generic plans. Generic plans really don't work in the long run. In the short run, they may, but they'll ultimately fail. So feedback's important. As a matter of fact, we'll design a plan, we'll execute it, we'll be moving forward, and time will go by, and it will need to be altered.
Oh, of course.
Things will happen.
Yeah.
Well, that's feedback from the client. This is new. This has changed. A family member had something happen. I'm going to work longer than I thought. I'm embracing this charity. All of that modifies the plan as we go. So the process is designed for a feedback loop.
Good, and it's hyper tailored for that person, that family, that organization.
Every one of them's different.
Our families are so unique. Our clients are so unique that that's the great part of the job, is that we have the ability to meet with so many different people, so many different stages of life with different needs, different wants, different. We have to keep on top of that. So their feedback to us is critical.
I love it. I mean, people, right? It all goes back. It doesn't matter what business you're in. You're always in the people business.
No, they're all
if you
different.
remember that. Yeah, love it. Are you seeing any trends in the financial industry?
Sure. The biggest one is brokerage versus advisory accounts.
Okay.
So most people don't know it by that name. It'll be commission versus fiduciary. You may have heard. It's selling things versus consulting.
Okay.
And the old school is brokerage, and people in our business used to call you up in the middle of dinner and try to sell you a product or an investment, and it was their job to persuade you, and if you purchased it, they made a commission and they moved on to the next one. And
that churn and burn.
You've heard of that, right? Very sales-like.
Yeah.
But the trend is consulting, which is advisory.
Yes.
And advisory, you engage someone, as we would mention. There's transparency, discuss what it costs up front.
Yep.
Right? A fee is paid, advice is given. The client chooses to take the advice or not. On our side, as the advisors, we don't get paid more or less if you don't take the advice or if we alter the advice. So
we sit on the same side of the table as the client. That's how we look at it, right?
Good.
If you're paying us a fee, we're on your side. Hey, let's work on this together. And the advice we give you is completely transparent.
Yeah. So now people are really understanding that, and I think most people look for the fiduciary trend versus the brokerage trend. And it's pretty big.
Good.
Well, and that's another thing. That's a great point, Brian. And you mentioned before what somebody should look for is absolutely you want to look for an advisor that's on an advisory or a fiduciary situation with you, not a commissionable type of broker.
Well, and bravo to you, because I think that more businesses and organizations, no matter what it is that you specialize in, could move towards that advisory or consultative role instead of that old school selling. It makes a difference. Yeah, it's a longer process, but it's that value driven that you were talking about, that you get to know your people, get to know your clients and what's important.
Yeah, and to complement that, as far as trends goes, without a doubt, there's a trend where you lead a relationship with planning.
Yes.
Not with investments.
Exactly.
So it wasn't that long ago where everything was, what's the investment, what's the hot dot? The investments, in the process of how long this goes, investments are the last piece of the puzzle.
Right.
You figure everything out first, you design the portfolio, you plug it in to complement the plan.
Yeah.
That's the trend. Not here's the investment.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, good. So, Brendan, you've been a partner, Three Bridges has been a partner with the Melbourne Regional Chamber for 4 years. So, thank you very much for that investment.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, we're still going.
Yeah.
All right. So, I wonder if you could talk about the reasoning behind that decision to join the Chamber, and how do you use that partnership for your business or your personal life or community?
Yeah, so Three Bridges Planning joined the Chamber in 2019, but we've been Chamber partners for as long as I can remember. In fact, I was on the Chamber board years ago in the mid 2000s, and my father, I mentioned it before, he was the chairman of the chamber in 1994.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so that's when I was in college. I can remember volunteering at chamber events when I was in high school.
Were they still in the same building?
They were.
Yeah.
Not too much longer though, right?
Okay, I know, right? Yeah.
So yeah, there was some cool stuff. They had this Aqua Fest, this water-based fundraiser they did, and I volunteered in that. So it was chamber's been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. And it's just, in fact, I was with some other gentlemen. We started the Young Professionals Club.
I love that group.
Well, I think I aged out a few years ago.
Me too. Yeah.
So,
Luckily, they don't count like gray hairs or anything.
But I think it's still going, right? I think it's
they're going really strong.
So now the chamber's been a big part of and it's not what we get out of the chamber. I don't know if we get anything out. I mean, I'm sure we do, but it's really just so important, the vitality of the community that have a strong chamber of commerce. So that's why we support it. Brian and I are big community guys. I'm the current president of Candlelighters of Brevard, helps kids with cancer.
Yeah.
Brian's a past president of the O'Galley Rotary. So we just feel like, in a town like this, you just give back and you join stuff that you want to be part of.
Right.
And if it helps business, great. But if we just enjoy doing that.
And that used to be the advice I would give to my folks that would work for me is whatever that passion is, because if it's just something to do to check off a box. This is on the side of your desk. This is your nights and your weekends. It's gonna be hollow. But find something you care about.
Yep.
Kids, veterans, the environment, whatever that is, and then you'll do it, and you'll do it for the right reasons. And I'm a big believer in putting good out brings good back in.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. If you're networking because somebody tells you to go network and you're joining stuff that you have no interest in, that's not gonna. You're not gonna.
You can tell.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell those people. So Brendan, I'm gonna ask both of you actually. I'll start with you though, Brendan. What's your favorite part of your job?
I mean, it has to be. First of all, we have an incredible office. It's Brian, myself, his father, my mother works there part time, and then
family business.
Yeah,
I love it.
And Samantha's been with us forever. She's our assistant. So the office is fantastic. The people are great. I kind of mentioned before, just dealing with clients. I mean, when we literally have client meetings daily, like several meetings, and there's not a client that walks in that I don't enjoy talking to and catching up with. Because if we don't enjoy the relationship, we know that from the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. So, and
do you kind of vet them, make sure they're a good fit both sides?
Absolutely, both sides. And we're not always the right fit for somebody. They're looking for more transactional and asking us. So we kind of vet that from the beginning. I just
Smart.
Yeah, I just love working with our clients. I love our office. I love the career. We've, going independent has afforded us to have a nice practice that we can, we're not. It's just
we're not punching a time clock.
We're not punching a time clock.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never missed. I have 3 children. I've never missed a game. Never missed an event at school. He's the same way with his 2 kids. So, the people, the staff, the office, the career, is blessed. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Well,
anything to add to that?
Yeah.
That was a great answer.
Yeah. Well, for me,
and it's true.
Yeah.
For me, it's problem solving. And,
Okay.
And that's as the planner on the team. People come to us because they have a problem.
Yeah, and complex problems, right? It's
A
not
lot-
just
most
a little.
likely, yes.
Yeah.
Or they wouldn't seek us out.
Right.
So, it's my job to just understand the problem and offer solutions. And that's the best part. Matter of fact, I always tell my wife, when she asks how the day went, and if I had no appointments that day, that's a terrible day. It's a long day.
Yeah.
But if my calendar is booked, that's the best day, and it flies right by.
Right. And no 2 days are ever the same, I'm sure, when you're talking to different clients with different goals.
Yeah, and he mentioned problem solving. I can't tell you, since we've taken on the role of the tax planning, the solutions we've been able to provide. It's simple things where people are doing charitable contributions that are not getting credit for it. I shouldn't say credit because they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart.
Of course.
But with the standard deduction, it's under that.
We can all write it off.
And we'll say, hey, let's do a donor advised fund. And people's eyes light up. No one is telling them these things. So these clients walk out of our meetings and we just feel like we really just solved something for them.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's you can't beat that.
Perfect. I'm going to stick with you, Brendan. I already asked you this. What's next for Three Bridges?
We're growing.
Certainly.
Yeah,
Are you hiring?
Well, yeah, hiring. Yeah, hiring is a yes. I guess we're hiring, but mostly we're adding advisors to the firm.
Okay.
So we actually added a financial advisor on the west coast of Florida. So we have a small little office over there now in Bradenton, and we're looking for advisors in the Melbourne area that aren't happy where they are.
Sure.
We'd love to add. We've got room in the office, and that's our plan.
Perfect. So if somebody has been watching or listening and they would, first of all, be interested in maybe speaking to you about an advisory role, or they just want to know more about what you do, can you share your website with us?
Sure, it is threebridgesplanning.com.
Perfect. And
pretty simple.
Can we find you on all the social media as well?
Not all of them.
As many as, what are we on? Facebook?
Facebook and LinkedIn.
Okay.
Three
Those are
Bridges
the
Planning.
two.
Yeah,
Yeah. Perfect.
Or just call us. We're very accessible.
What, do you know your phone number off the top of your head?
I know my direct line.
Do it. If you feel comfortable.
321-225-3151.
Okay, thank you.
Impressive.
Yeah, I'm impressed too.
I don't know the front-
I know
I don't know
like
the
2
front
phone
line. I know
numbers.
my line.
Yeah. I'm impressed that you shared your direct line with everyone right now.
Well, I hope someone calls me.
Okay, good. Let us know if they do. So this is the time in our program where we ask our guests to share a little tenet, a tip, a pearl of wisdom, maybe just some knowledge somebody dropped on you that it kind of stuck in your head and it served you well in either your professional or your private life. So I'll start with you, Brendan. Anything you want to share?
Yeah, I think, my dad used to tell me this as a kid, and it holds true in personal life, professional life, and that's just to do the right thing. You're forced with decisions all day long, and it's not always easy, and just do the right thing.
Right.
Pretty simple.
Listen to your dad.
Yeah, I think it's just, and I've always thought that, what's the right thing, and that's why our business is so successful. I truly believe that is that our clients have been with us forever. They don't leave us. They refer their friends. We're not in it for the money. We don't even, that comes. We have to have a career and make a livelihood, right? But we just do the right thing by our clients, and it pays off.
Nice. Very nice. Brian, anything?
Well, I'll go on one of the personal side.
Yes,
Something
okay.
I share with my kids, and that is when someone needs help, you help them.
Okay.
And then the next level is even if they don't ask, you help them.
Very nice. I love it. I love the family approach. I love everything you guys are talking about, the people-centric way that you approach your clients, the strategy, the advising. Keep it up. Keep doing the right thing, and keep helping us all out. We appreciate
I appreciate
you.
you. Thanks.
Thank you, Mel.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. Thanks again to Brendan and Brian for joining us today. Can you share that website one more time? We're going to pop it up.
Sure, it's 3bridgesplanning.com.
Perfect. Thank you again to the Hotel Melby for hosting us this morning in this gorgeous suite. Thank you to Anthony Demalia with Tightline Productions for making this possible. For more information about Three Bridges Planning, you can check out their website. You can also go to melbourneregionalchamber.com to learn more about any of the partners. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.